Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. Not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back from the dailymail.com. Republican support in factory towns and rural areas has doubled in comparison to Democrat gains in cities and college communities. That's the important thing. College communities, and another worrying sign for Biden's party before 2022. Yeah, it is Biden's party. And he is a chain of stone around their neck, so to speak. But it's the whole party. He just happens to be the president, so technically, at least on paper, he's the leader of it. I do want to say, though, sorry, I'm not going to be able to come out in the next few days as many episodes as I normally do because my desktop computer, I've had for years, the best computers I ever had, took a crap. And I got the blue screen of death, and it keeps surfing through that. They're going to diagnose this, and then it restarts, and so I got to bring it. Hopefully I can save it. We'll see. I'm using a really, really low-end laptop to do these, so they're not going to be as good as an Ermilar with videos and all kinds of other things, so just have to bear with me. I appreciate it. People living in American heartland, populations outside of urban centers that rely heavily on manufacturing, have been abandoning Democrats in favor of Republicans in droves. Well, of course, according to a new report exposing a weakness in President Biden's party as the 2022 midterms loom. Weakness? They're being kind. These are old school Democrats. These are union blue-collar Democrats that for the last two generations have been dumped on, they just ripped their lives from them, that generations through the Midwest. I live in upstate New York, in Binghamton. This was considered the Valley of Opportunity. You could get a job in a day. Endicott Johnson was here. IBM was actually founded in downtown Binghamton as the Bundy Time Corporation. There was IBM manufacturing, and my dad was a computer programmer at IBM for over 30 years. Yeah, so I know a little bit. Whirlpool was started here. Seal Test Ice Cream was started here. A whole bunch of stuff. All gone. All gone. Manufacturing. Just ants go. Some call it GAF. My grandmother worked there for 48 years. Imagine that. All gone. All gone. And they gutted it out. And they call it the Rust Belt. Yeah, for a reason now. It's upstate New York, western Pennsylvania, all through Ohio, Indiana, and reaches right around through to Wisconsin. And it filters down a little bit into the southern states, which are starting to recoup. Manufacturing outside of Chicago was huge. All gone. Because our people in Washington that are supposed to represent us stabbed us in the back. Made it financially feasible for these companies to ship our jobs overseas. And now with automation coming, the people on the low end of the employment scale, i.e. pay, they're really screwed. And 10% of our population, on average, is below an IQ of 83. Doesn't mean they're bad people. They could be extraordinary human beings, and I'm sure they are. But they can't be trained to do anything. And so the low-end jobs, there's going to be a lot of fighting over it. It's going to be crazy, which, of course, will bring down the wages. They're going up now because of the pandemic. When things all straighten out, though, it's the bottom 20% that get screwed the most by these same Democrats. And these voters went straight to Trump in 16 and 20. Nearly 40% of GOP gains in 12 and 20 were in these areas alone. Yeah, of course. Of course. Working-class towns that were manufacturing jobs dominate the local economy are difficult to place in the usual electorate classifications that rely on geography. They are too far outside urban centers to be considered suburbs and are not rural farming communities. I know I live in one. Yes, there's some farms in Broome County, just under 200,000 in the county, if you're curious. After helping elect Barack Obama in 2008 and 12, this voting bloc swung heavily towards Trump. Of course they did. The hit we took in small and mid-sized manufacturing counties was the biggest reason Trump won the presidency in 2016 and almost did in 2020. Almost did. So they finally admitted it. The report made by Democrats said, I don't think people realize that if you take the electoral votes, take 42,000 votes out of over 150 million cast. 42,000 votes is all Trump wins. Biden in 2020 did do slightly better than Hillary Clinton, but not well enough. Democrats' hard-won urban and suburban increases were outpaced by losses at a 2-to-1 margin in those areas. It's the suburban issues is going to come up now. The so-called soccer moms, I hate that expression, but the so-called soccer moms that you've really pissed off at school boards. All the mama bears are pretty mad. You want to mess with a woman that's hell-bent on protecting their children? Good luck with that. It's the latest sign Democrats' declining appeal amid shrinking poll numbers for the top 3 Democrats in Washington, Biden, Harris, and Pelosi, all grappling with their diminishing likability. Now, they left one out, Chuck Schumer, one of my senators, and I'm not proud of that. But the report commissioned by the political group 21st Century Democrats showed signs of a larger disconnect that's been years in the making. No kidding. We just quit showing up because you can't defend. You can't defend your ideology. You can't defend what you support. You are what you support. And you are who you fight against. And you've been fighting against these people and screwing them for years. 10 states with factory town communities are studied, including the critical battleground states of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Minnesota. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I try to make these videos as short as I can because I got such a lousy laptop. It takes forever to produce these videos, but across an 8-year span, small manufacturing communities swung mostly toward Republicans. Yeah, this is second generation getting screwed over. Everybody that lived in these towns, their dad, sometimes their mom, all worked at the same place, 10, 20, 25, sometimes 30 plus years, all gone. Biden, despite his working class roots, yeah, what a joke, only won 11 out of those 180 counties. Now, those are called bellwether counties. I can't say what that means because YouTube will take this video off, but I think we know. Republicans running in mid-sized manufacturing communities won by roughly 766,000 votes. Yeah. And I'm just going to scroll through the rest of this. Unions decline in these areas represents 93% of the total union losses across the country. Those are all the Democrats are screaming from a bigger minimum wage and union jobs. And you can't have a contract with the government unless you're a union shop. And we're going to give you $8,000 if you buy an electric car, but it has to be a union manufacturer. Meanwhile, they've been gutting union jobs, 5 million. It's amazing to me. 93% of the total union losses across the country. Union decline. The good paying jobs in communities will produce economic benefit that the community will enjoy. We've got to have the workers to have the union in. No kidding, you idiot. Little late. Little late. Look at this. Look at this. An 8 of 10 states studied factory towns made up more than 40% of the total electorate. Yep. Look at that. Pretty amazing, huh? And I can read the rest here. It'll be a process. It'll be an investment in time and effort, the Democrats said. Idiot. Democrat strategists said Biden's $3.5 trillion Build Back Better plan is a good plan for Democrats to start, but they can't run on just its promise. What promise? It's not an infrastructure package. It's doling out money to all their friends. It's bribing people to stay with Democrats. It's using low-income people and disabled people and the whole spectrum. Is disgusting and despicable. And in the end, they're going to get screwed over. And That's the way it is. We'll finish this off. Accomplishment of when those jobs are created out of these communities that both kickstart the economy and infrastructure improvement and then provide economic development opportunities to these communities as more and more companies locate there. You know what that sounds like? Remember in Charlie Brown, the adults? Wah, 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 wah. It would take people talking about what happened in Washington, how it affected them locally so that there was money not just appropriated. Nobody needs to hang up a mission accomplished sign when the bill passes. It's going to hurt them in the end if the bill passes. It's a temporary fix. It's disgusting and it's wrong. Absolutely disgusting and wrong. Yeah, Trump did really well in those areas. Okay. Do you think? It's just amazing to me that a billionaire real estate agent that has a history, or at least the looks in the press. I'm trying to find the right word here so I don't get shadow banned more than I am now, being a playboy all his life. And he's the one that's going to save the workers. I find that incredible. I don't find it impossible. I just find it incredible because nobody else stepped up to the plate. And so let the Republicans eat their own, as long as they don't eat us. And eventually, the 75+ million people that voted for Trump, that they consider invisible and pointless, maybe we're finally going to say, here we are. As they said in The Shining, and one of my favorite comedians, Johnny Carson, said, here's Donald. Until the next time, goodbye and good luck.